Hey, I'm Sid, and how you guys doing today? If you haven't watched my previous video where I asked ChatGPT to create a WordPress plugin for me, then you might want to go watch that video because this video is just a sequel to that video. Whatever I asked ChatGPT the same prompt, I'm using it, and I'm gonna ask DeepSeek to create the same plugin for me, and we're just gonna compare the results, see which one does better, and yeah, that's about it. Let's get started, but before we do, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Alright, boys and girls, here we are within the computer screen. Now this is me second time recording this video because the first time I was recording this video, my audio did not record. So we're going to be redoing this once again. I'm going to show you everything that has happened. So yeah, let's get started. So if you haven't checked out my previous video where I asked ChatGPT to create the same plugin, then you might want to check that video out. I basically gave this prompt to ChatGPT. So I asked ChatGPT create a WordPress plugin for me, which upon installation, after I click a button called Initiate Startup on dashboard, does the following things in the backend. Changes the permalink structure to post name and saves it into the database, deactivates all the plugin besides itself, creates and publishes 3 pages, home, blog, and contact, assigns the front page as the static page and selects home page, then saves that setting into the database. And yeah, basically these are the 4 things that I asked it to do, and it did them quite well. So I asked ChatGPT once again in the same session to add another functionality so that it installs the WordPress theme Zakra, and I also gave it the link for the theme. And it gave me this code right here, which we're going to run. And also I've asked the same thing here to DeepSeek as well. So yeah, we're going to be running both these codes and we're going to see which plugin did it better. Now this is a very simple plugin that I've asked these AI models to create. We can obviously push it further. We can ask these chatbots to create something monumental, like create some really major WordPress plugins as well. If you got any ideas as to what you want to see these AI models create, then yeah, let me know down in the comments below, and maybe I'll make an entire series dedicated to creating a plugin with just AI, because I myself, I'm not a developer. I just know a little bit about code and I know how to use WordPress. Okay, so now this right here is my WordPress installation. I have already installed the WP Startup Automator plugin here. This is the plugin that was given to us by ChatGPT, and it also named the plugin for us. It gave us the name WP Startup Automator, while DeepSeek, it gave us a name for the plugin as well, which we're going to check it out in a bit. Okay, so if you're asking AIs to create a plugin for you, it's going to give you this PHP file right here. You don't really have to do much. So I'm running this WordPress instance locally. I'll show you its folder right here. You'd basically have to find this folder right here called app, then go within public, WP content, go within plugins, and you can simply create a new folder here. For me, it is this folder. I've created a PHP file here, which you don't even have to create a PHP file. You just have to create a text file, right? Name it something, open it, just paste in your PHP code and X out, and simply rename this file to .php by changing its extension. And honestly, that will be it. That is your entire WordPress plugin if you're creating something really simple. Yeah, and also if you don't see your file extensions here within Windows, just like I'm doing, and also within Windows I can edit my file extensions here because I have turned off this setting called hide extensions for known file types, so in case you were wondering. Now let's jump into the video. So this right here is WP Automator v2 by ChatGPT. WP Startup Automator automates essential tasks like permalink structure, page creation, theme installation, and more upon clicking the Initiate Startup button. There it is. So if I click on Activate, we should see a new menu here called WP Startup Automator, and it gives us this brief description as to what things it's going to do. Click on Initiate Startup, and now it should make all those changes that I asked it to make. Okay, so we also see this right here. It has basically installed the Zakra theme, it has unpacked it, installed, and it has also been activated, I assume. I still see these other menus here. If I click on refresh, they should go away. They have gone away. Okay, so starting off, number 1, all the other plugins have been deactivated besides itself. It is still active. Okay, so if we go within settings, reading, then we can see it has created a home page for us and has assigned it as a front page as well, so that is a pass. It probably has created a blog page, contact page, and a home page. So there we go. It has done all the things we asked it to do. And the plugin, the theme. It has installed the theme for us as well, so it checks out. Now let's go ahead, let's use the DeepSeek's code and see what sort of plugin we get to see. So one thing about DeepSeek, when I gave it the prompt, it went ahead and it segmented the code for me. So copying these will be a little bit of a hassle. But yeah, let's go ahead, let's do it. Just like I did for ChatGPT, at first I asked it to create the base version of the plugin, which did like the 4 things that I asked it to do before. And yeah, it gave me this code. It was quite segmented. And I also added this functionality so that it installs the WordPress theme as well. So yeah, let's go ahead, let's load all this code up. Now I'm going to make change to the same file right here. Now I think DeepSeek has named this plugin as Startup Configurator. Oh yeah, in terms of naming, I really like the name ChatGPT has given me. It has given it the name WP Startup Automator, which I really like, compared to Startup Configurator. It's just a little bit bland. This is our PHP file. Open it within Notepad. I'm going to remove all this and we're going to be manually adding the code. So this right here is like the intro part of the plugin from what I know. And this right here is the thing that adds the admin menu and the button. So let's go ahead, let's paste it within our notepad as well. Now this is the define startup function, and this function actually changes. So I'm going to skip this one for now because I asked DeepSeek to again add another functionality. So it kind of changes that function. Now I'm going to have to copy this part of the code, which basically installs the theme, paste it in there. And finally, this is the initiate startup function that I was talking about before. So yeah, we're going to copy this. We're going to paste this within as well. Just gonna save it. So now if we go back here, we're again gonna do a few things. We're gonna activate a different theme. We're gonna delete this theme, read in, and change this to your latest posts. Change our permalink structure as well. Save it. And now let's see what this plugin can do. Actually, even before we do that, let's go ahead, let's activate some other plugins for it to deactivate as well. So I've activated these plugins, Blockout Block, Servers Forms, Masterio. Let's go ahead, let's activate our DeepSeek's Startup Configurator. There we go, it has been activated. We don't have any sort of errors. We can see our menu right here, Startup Configurator. And yeah, these are all the things that it's going to do. One thing that is missing here is that it has not talked about the theme change. Like when I gave it the second prompt to also install this Zakra theme right here, it forgot to include that thing within this description. But you know what, we'll just let that one slide. Let's click on Initiate Startup and let's see. Okay, so there we go. It says startup process completed. The Zakra theme has been installed and activated. Yeah, I was supposed to talk about the theme right here, but instead it did it within this notice. Kind of iffy, but sure, whatever. I still see these menus. If I click on refresh, they should go away. There we go. So our plugins have been deactivated. If we go within settings, reading. Okay, static page has been selected and it has been selected to our home page. Our permalink structures have been changed to post name as well. And now if we go within appearance, there we go. Zakra theme has been downloaded, installed, activated. Okay, so both our AIs, ChatGPT and DeepSeek, they have been able to give us a working version of the plugin, so that is pretty good. But obviously the question remains, which one did it better? And no doubt it is ChatGPT. And there's a few different reasons why. So first of all, when I asked it to initially create the plugin, the base version of it, it gave me a single blob of PHP code, which was, you know, like really easy to just copy paste, and it worked just fine. As for DeepSeek, when I asked it to create the base version of the plugin, it went ahead and it segmented the code. So if you know nothing about coding, you'd have a little bit of a hard time as to what you need to do. But also in some ways, this might be a good thing if you're actually creating a larger plugin, like, you know, something that is a little bit more complex to what I've created here. Then segmenting the files does make some sense, but it does add a bit of complexion to it. So that's the thing. Now the base version of both the plugins, they worked really well. Now I will say one thing, I liked DeepSeek's implementation of this setup page right here, where every other thing is in a different line compared to ChatGPT version where everything was in a singular line. So yeah, I guess this is one thing that DeepSeek did better. But one thing that DeepSeek kind of did not do was when I asked it once again to make change to the plugin file by basically adding this functionality which installs and activates another theme, it forgot to mention that thing within this description right here, and instead it was showing up in the notice, which was kind of a mess on its part. While as for ChatGPT, it went ahead and it added it right here within the description. So yeah, that is a plus for ChatGPT as well. And another hurdle that I ran into was when I asked DeepSeek to add this different functionality to the code, it went ahead and it gave me just the sections of the code that needed changing. So whenever you're creating a WordPress plugin, basically your plugin has this description section as to, the plugin name, the description, version, author name, etc. And you have some functions that you call after it. Yeah, so for DeepSeek, as I said before, it segmented all the codes. And when I asked it to make changes to the plugin, add a different functionality, it went ahead and it just gave me blocks within the code that needed updating. So if I knew nothing about coding, I probably would be stuck at this point and I wouldn't know what to do unless I, maybe asked it a few more prompts. And then again, I'd have to manually copy paste all these different sections of the code that I know nothing about. So yeah, clear winner of this video is ChatGPT. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what other things you want to see. Let me know what other AI models you would like to see in these comparisons. So yeah, I guess that's about it for this video. I hope you guys found that video helpful. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, and just like I said before, if you want to see comparisons between different other AI models as well, and if you've got any sort of additional features that you want me to cram into this plugin, or if you want me to create an entirely new plugin just using AI, just let me know about it in the comments as well, and I'll make sure it happens. I'm Sid, and I'll see you whenever I'll see you. Take care.